Go ra andu ra, I say. Mama seta. Ashite ashu on. Vibrations, every baka. May your mind, buckas, and souls be all. May your amits be sound. May your buckas be leavened off the ground. When we keep to the breath, the orth, the moth, or the seon, the soul ra arms them guides and keeps you all. Ayad matata elai say el say I. Amen ra. Christ or a chaplain. I am Truth Awareness True Talk. Come be a part of the greatest transfer of Ma-Elth, that's intelligence, Aminology, to Angodu. This is Sound Logic. With all that being offered to you, being a fool is absolutely your choice. To raise Ray 1820, let me actually double check because we may have progressed till 821. And so we have reached almost 2 days ahead, right? Well over 24 hours. And that since October the 1st, since the beginning of the 6th ring, or 6th, what you call year of the Kagadora. Let's just give a check right here. We're going to go to mothor.org. Oh, it's still 8:20. We still got about 5 hours to go. That's cool. That's all right. Or 4 hours or so. Anyways, let's get back to what we were watching here. Thanks to Dirt UFO. Actually, I should say thank you to New America, because that's who sent it to me. I guess that's the name on Instagram. So thanks, New America. Like I said in your video, I know a lot of, or like I said in this message, sorry, right? A lot of us don't really understand, right? We see CERN and we see this big machine and we take what they tell us, right? But when you understand sound, okay, and you were there at the beginning, like I was, my genes, my genetics was there. My blood was there. Because I remember. And when I have the things I do and the psychology and everything like that, there's no disputing. Okay, it's like having a key. Okay, it's like being able to pull, a sword out of a rock. Okay, this is the impact, of the things that I've been doing. It's so impactful that, it's not something that can be comprehended. Right? It's not something you can see. Right? It's just like source. You can only see the motion. And so after this presentation on CERN, you should be convinced, absolutely convinced. And you all should be going to jesus.com. Okay, signing up, getting your iBucket to Omen, getting the PDF version of the Mathorian Kagadora. You got to be getting to that Google, getting to that Apple, download that app. I just showed you the mothor.org. You can log on, bookmark that, have that tab on your desktop, laptop, phone, just like the app. You click it, your browser will roll up. You get access to both the digital sundial and the ray counter. I don't consider draconian state, nor should you hashtag that in your post. Thought is a spore that spawns intelligence, then a fungi.org. Mental health is your etheric compass. Orientate to sound. That's Baal. Erectionary, because dictionary words die your erection. We're learning Ta'angodu. We speak motion. All right, before I roll this video, let's just talk a little bit about CERN. Okay. One thing we got to recognize and realize is either there was a great deal of ignorance, or the truth of the reality is that in the beginning, okay, of the parasite application, it had to live by something. Okay, a parasite is dead. right? These words, these symbols, all of these things cannot generate their own life. They have to be given life. They have to be powered, right? And so it has to attach itself to sound. Okay, and so the sounds that were made, in order for it to turn it from upright to downright, in order for it to lose its erection, it had to detach its ability to make sounds. Okay? Or control the sounds it is making. Convert the sound to noise. Right? Noise means no soul say. Okay? Your soul is negated. That's what noise is. Okay? So, recognizing what I just said at the beginning, it had to speak in reverse, but it had to play sound. Okay? So, what I'm getting at is Ra, the Seon, the soul Ra Amstem that you call Mother Nature, that is the water, the soil, the air, the sun. These things are what you call source, Ba'am. Okay? This is sound. These are the elements that sustain motion, that evolve, that grow. These are all parts and functions of Ba'am and or Ra. Ra is on the head, being the voice. It is what transmits intelligence in the form of sound, what you call waves, radiance. So as it was playing God, it had to create an adversary that still was itself, but didn't pre-exist. Right? It had to create it out of itself. So it created an opposition. Okay? And that opposition is what you call the devil, Satan, Lucifer, Azazel, Iowas, Lamb, Allah, God, Pan. Like, you can go on, I can go on forever. All lead to the same shit. The 111 code. Because they're only one. They're not a life form. So even when they make up their own symbols, they can only use one. Especially now that I have stripped them by exposing and evicting the fraud on the most high, the most erect, the most elevated level is the etheric. Okay, I've done everything I do. It's being done from the ether through me into this reality. Doesn't matter if I'm not getting likes or whatever. Okay, what is being done is done. Everything I'm doing is in scripture. And I haven't had one person come out and say, oh, this was in scripture, because everybody's spirits know. When I say I'm the sound Messiah, I'm exactly what I say. I am the one who is bringing sound back to your senses. I'm exactly what I say. I didn't say I was a prophet. I didn't say I speak on behalf of the word. That's what you all are waiting for. That's what you all have invested for. You couldn't figure out that souls is all about sounds. Right? So what I'm getting to now is, despite everything being grim, they are now forced to play the devil. They can no longer play God. Remember what I just said at the beginning. They had to attach themselves to sound to gain life. So everything that they said had to be sound, a sound. But in order to be God, and in order for it to work, you have to create an enemy. So even though you are the enemy at first, you are forced to attach yourself to source, because that is all that there is besides the application that was created to usurp sound, to put a cloud on the sun so it couldn't be seen, and the beings having the authority of operating in the earth like the sun. And now we see indoor grow rooms, GMO foods that actually, you know what I'm saying? Everything now, we're using what now to break the spell of back then. Because like I said, and I'm saying, if at first it had to play source, it had to mask as source, it had to create itself as the enemy, or it had to use itself as the enemy to control both sides. Okay? And so by doing that, it created a language that was disconnecting life. Okay? There's no two ways other than to understand it, like I just said. You have source, and now you have an adversary. So the adversary has to have means to the end, which is to remove source. So now that we've come to today, and Ra is back, clear in the red sky. Doesn't matter how much you block it. Okay? Every time you see pink, you know that's Ra behind it. If you look at the sun, get any camera, you're going to see a little pink dot. Okay? That's Ra. Okay? It's pink because all that bright light and white and all that stuff that shines at it. Okay? They're beaming light at Ra. Okay? To distort its radiance. So once we understand this, we can accept what I'm about to tell you after I let you watch this. Because this is going to seem big and grim, but all the things that they're doing, number one, it's like free advertising for me. You know, I broke that 666 code, right? I mean, everybody can say it's carbon and blah, blah, blah. But when you realize that they were using Ra as the devil, it puts me in a pretty interesting position, because I get the power from both sides, just like Solomon was able to wield the demons, because I'm the soul man. All this worshiping, all this language, what are they going to do? Just throw it away? Right? So their power is gone, and it's taken back to the rightful source of it. So that 666 stands for the very same atoms that they're trying to penetrate. It doesn't stand for the devil or for them. It doesn't stand for anything that they're connected to. The 666 stands for what they are trying to usurp. Because they are attached to source and they're not life forms, and they require an attachment to that source, then of course source is their God. So let's watch this, and I'm going to continue to break this down.
The white supremacists have created the most demonic evil device ever known to the universe.
Dr. Thurston Sawyer here, first black professional surfer and triathlete. If we could go back in the time, I'd give the Indians nuclear weapons and lasers, but we can't, unfortunately. But you know what? It seems that the worst things in the world have been occurring because somebody's got a time machine and they're forcing it on the universe. You know, the idea of you can't get your way, so let's destroy this dimension and find one that's better. That's what the Caucasian man has been doing. Destroying zillions of people's lives in order to get their own way. You know, theorists have been calculating that this could be a possibility, that CERN is the most demonic device ever known.
Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that the smartest people on Earth might have just butt dialed the universe. That's basically what happened when CERN, the same folks who play with atoms like kids with fireworks, allegedly reached out to an interstellar object called 3I Atlas and got a message back that no one wanted to hear. You are interfering with quarantine. Hold on, quarantine? Are we the cosmic equivalent of raccoons locked in the galaxy's trash bin, according to the leaked Prometheus memo? Yep, it even sounds like a sci-fi movie. CERN scientists weren't just smashing protons, they were knocking on cosmic doors. Using the Large Hadron Collider's massive magnetic fields, they sent a neutrino pulse toward 3I Atlas. Think of it as a galactic "hey you up" text, but instead of getting heart emojis, they got a threat. At first, everything was calm. Then CERN's machines went haywire. Temperatures dropping to near absolute zero, energy levels spiking off the charts. It was like the universe itself suddenly took control of the collider and said, "Stop poking holes in reality, humans." Dr. Eris Thorne, head of the so-called ECHO project, allegedly confirmed it. 3I Atlas wasn't just a rock, it was a ship, and not the cruise liner from E.T.'s Vacation Planet type. No, this was a cosmic police cruiser full of entities who apparently see us as unruly kids playing with dimensional matches. The message was clear: humanity has been under cosmic quarantine for centuries, and when we fired up CERN's collider, we basically broke intergalactic house arrest. The result? Angry wardens on our doorstep. Of course, CERN denies everything. They call it all hoax, a wild conspiracy, but between strange energy readings, leaked files, and a suspiciously quiet NASA, you have to wonder, did our scientists just text the galaxy's HOA and now they're typing back in all caps? So, are we about to meet our cosmic landlords? Or just our imagination? Either way, next time you hear a strange hum from the...
All right. That was pretty cool. All right. So, pretty gloomy, eh? You got, let's, sorry about that. All right. So, CERN, we're going to break down that word. We're going to break down that name, CERN. Because that's what we do here. We got the C for equals severed, okay? You know it's severed because it's half of an O, okay? Even though the circle doesn't rightfully represent source, that's the symbol that they use. What would rightfully represent source is obviously the spiral. Any symbol that shows movement, okay? This is a closed loop. This is like terminating, right? If you have positive and negative and you put them together, you're going to terminate, so it's going to kill the source, okay? You understand? You understand? So the circle, and even the word circle itself is the name for a demon deity. All right? It's Sekael. So anyways, C is for severed, cut in half. Okay? And this is what further explains what I said at the beginning, how I tried to set it up. Remember that they set up the opposition. Okay? So now they could only play the devil. They can't play God because Ra is here. They're even trying to tell you that there are other beings coming here, okay, to punish them. Okay, they're trying to tell you that. They're trying to give this impression, prepare you for some war. Okay? So now that they could only play the devil, all of these things, number one, that Ra was representing the devil, okay, when they were operating as God under the false authority of Ra and actually making the souls and characters that all represent Ra as the devil and both God at the same time. Okay? And so now all of these things are forced upon them because they were supposed to be the good guys to defeat CERN and all of that stuff, but now they're only CERN. Right now they're only draconians. You understand? They don't have. They're losing the energy that we give them. Okay, for multiple reasons because they have to spend it to survive. Right? They survive off of death. Right? Death to them is life, just like life to us is life. Okay. So the C equals severed. Okay, then we have the E. Okay, so that is the or. It's ether. Okay. And then we have R, I believe. Yep. Okay. That is going to be radiance or Ra. And then we have N equals negate. Okay. So you have sever, the or, negate, Ra. That's what CERN means. That's the code and command for CERN. That's the end. The machine is the means to the codes, what represents their end, to sever the or, right? Separate from ether, okay? And negate Ra. Or Ra negate. It doesn't matter, okay? So now that they could only play the devil and they no longer can play God, this very name is going to work against them. Because remember, the devil is supposed to be 666, right? If we didn't have decoding and we went straight by English, we would think that the devil was detached from evil. So that means devil would be actually good. And that was always the joke because the devil was Ra. So remember, this is Ra in their, this is when they're acting as Ra. Okay, because this is supposed to be the devil. Okay, so Ra now is going to sever it's going to sever the or and negate the parasite. This code is going to be true because the 666 is Ra. Okay, so the ether is not going to sever from itself. It can't. Everything is inside of the or. What you call space is really the or. That's what we live in. That's what keeps us is or. Space means sever, the parasite. That's from ether. Or sever, parasite. Okay, say, parasite, sever the ether. That's what space means. Say, parasite, sever the ether. So that means that when we acknowledge that we live in space, we're giving the parasite consent to sever from the ether. This is why CERN is what they want to call a particle collider, and they always focus on this word, space. Okay? But since I told you that space is not a thing, it's a code. This is the thing. This is why people at large need to be connecting with sound logic so we can end this, because it's a vote that is happening here, and it's our voice that needs to that has a say. I know I have a say. So this is why everybody needs to be supporting me. Okay, because my art, or sorry, I shouldn't say my art, my rata, okay, my raw thoughts are the authority. Sound is the authority. Okay? This is not a philosophy or anything like this. This is sound. I'm speaking sound. It's beyond hypothesis shit. Okay? So now that we understand what CERN means, I'm going to build on this because we have this word dimension. So remember, right? CERN is making you believe that they are trying to destroy the dimension, or this dimension. Whether it be this dimension or any dimension, when we decode the word dimension, we can see another suicide happening. Okay? Because you have D is for detach, the I is for the soul man. Okay? The MEN is for the Ma entity. Okay? And the shun is shu. That's moving the ion. Okay? Moving the soul life. Okay? So if that means disconnecting the soul, my entity, from movement, again, remember, one time we're able to play too. So this language is supposed to be for the devil, what the devil wants to do, but this real devil is just codes. They're just words that are attached to the true source, which is Ra. Okay, this is what they want you to say, so Ra does it. You got to recognize and realize that ether is what they call open source. You understand? Okay, it's about having sound versus noise to wheel it. Okay, as soon as we figure out that, then it's all over. Okay? All right? So this is going to happen to them. Because remember, D, if you didn't have the D, then it would be ma, so it would be soul ma entity, moving life, moving soul life. Okay, this is the code for mention. Okay, mention. You have the ma entity moving the soul life. You understand that? You understand this, buckas? This is what mention is. Just like they say Jesus lives in the mansion. This is a command. Okay? The Ma entity must move, shu, the soul life. On is life. The I is the erect being under Ra. The S is shu. It's the sound of the movement of air. Okay? You have men, Ma entity. The Ma entity is entitled. Man is entitled. This is why you have that word, the man. Okay, because the Ra is called Ma on. It even goes by on. Every function is a calling, is a reference to what Ra does and the many things that Ra does. It turns the matter on. Okay, anything that is of Ra that has soul, when Ra is up, they are also up. Okay, you get a hard on if you're a man. You know, everything. The plants look, and this is the erector. Okay, you're looking for the creator, where this is the erector. The erector is what the creator was taking claims that it created, but it couldn't because Ra erected it. Okay, remember, it's about the upright. Okay? I'm going to warn you, this battery might run out, so, or the memory to record this video, so if it does, I'll continue on, because this is huge. Okay? This is huge. All right? And so another thing that we must realize is the melanin. Okay? Or is melanin. Okay, we live in Ma Elon. Sorry, not melanin, Ma Elon. Okay, you guys got to get that right. You got to stop speaking their language and you got to learn to Angodu. Okay, it's Ma El On. Okay, the Ma element that sustains life, that gives life. Okay, melanin is the Ma element that is flat, that gives flat life and allows for them to get in. Okay, remember, you got Ma, you got Mel. Okay, all right. So let's just say, or melanin. Okay, so you got the Ma element. Okay, melan. Okay, so the la is not the l. Okay, the L, after the L you have la, mel la. Okay, so the L is la. That means laid, means lanced, means separated, means flat. And then you have in. So what happens in is opposite of nigh. Okay, nigh is a form of ore that is on the surface copper and on the inside it's nickel. Okay, it's named after Nicholas, the devil, Saint Nick. Okay, so you know that melanin can't be penetrated, right? But when you say this code, you are now giving consent to it being penetrated because they've gotten into it. You got to remember that when you get in, that means you have to go through a door. If it's ore, you're looking for gold, you have to separate it from, the sand or whatever. If it's a diamond, you got to separate the coal. Okay, so that's in. So that really means out. It's the process of accessing the sound, accessing whatever is precious, the gas, the mineral, whatever it is that you want, you have to go through its shell. Okay, and so when you say melanin, okay, you're giving permission to the Ma element to be separated. Okay, to be flat. That means without sound. Okay, laid, lack. Okay, it's very, very important. All right. And so as I correct things, I want you to realize that's why nothing they do can work, because I'm correcting these codes in the ether. I'm exposing and evicting. So now it's about choice. Okay, now it's literally about choice. They have a choice. We have a choice. I have a choice. Everybody has a choice based on what I'm doing. They now have a choice to take my codes and rework their shit and rename their shit. And you can see them doing this. I've said this years ago. I said it again last year. I said it again 6 months. You see countries changing their names, everything. This is all trying to renew contracts and so on and so on and so on, and they cannot have etheric names. Okay, like for instance, the coin Ethereum. You're going to see that coin have to change its name. I'm telling it right now, so get ready. Everything that's named after the ether, the draconians can't label their shit etheric shit. Okay, it's going to change and or be shut down. Okay, so this is also a public notice. I would start changing shit before you get shut down. Okay, because you all ain't ignorant to me and what's the process is happening here. Okay, so now another subject, time travel. Okay, it's not a time machine. CERN, the machine, can't think. Okay, it can't think. If it could, then it would have done everything it could, but it can't think. Okay, people around it are thinking how to utilize it. Okay, I broke the code November the 23rd. Why do I know that date? Because I had to search the date when I first made that video, because a prominent figure in the conscious community, an old timer, came out and pretty much said what I said word for word. Okay, and so, I basically researched almost 2 decades of his work, couldn't find any breakdown on time. And so when I found out my post on this very same Instagram, it could still be on my Instagram, November of 23, I broke the code of time. Go find it. Okay? Um, yeah. I realized that I knew, I confirmed, I validated I broke that code before he did. Okay? Time is the process of thought between thinking and producing the matter. Okay? In that space between thought and action is time. Okay? Or thought and product is time. Okay? That's how time exists. Time is not a space. Time expands space because time is thought. It's ta, a, ma, e. That's what it is. The thinking soul, ma, entity. Okay, that is what's in control of time. Okay, that's what time is. Ta, ma. Okay, the thoughts of ma. Okay, or ta, I, ma. Okay, the thoughts of the soul man from ma. Okay, we wield time. Okay, the Nubians innovate. We are the thinkers because we come from the source of thought, which is Ra Etchu. Okay, I'm trying to tell you in the Bible and all these folklore stories that Isis got the name of Ra and was able to rule the world. Well, that just goes to show you, and they're trying to tell you that they usurped the authority. She tricked Ra apparently, and Ra got drunk and gave him her name. Well, why couldn't they tell you it was Ra Etchu? Because they're not me. Okay? Right? So time travel, don't got to worry about that shit. Okay? And back to the melanin. We live in ore. The ore is melanin. This is thought. Okay? We live in what processes thought. Okay? Melanin is in your brain. It's in everything that can receive thought. It has to be. Okay? Whether their thoughts are being obstructed or Ra's communication is being obstructed because they have an optical programming and not a sensory motor skill-based function. This is exactly why, you can't believe that it's trying to break any form of atom, okay, because they can't penetrate a melanated cell. Okay, black people may be able to be cloned, but we cannot be spliced with all these different species that other peoples are spliced with. Okay, I should say Nubians. Okay, this is facts. Okay, only the people of what you call the Caribbean, okay, we are of Ra. Okay, and they tell you that because they say Ka-Ra B-Ns. Okay, we are the entitlements because we are the beings of Ra. We are the Ba-Ns of Ra. The Ba entities, the Bas that are entitled of Ra, of the Ka of Ra. And it's really Ba-Ka-Ra B-N. Okay, that's my blood. Okay, this is my, what you call, authority and rights. Okay? We have atoms. Okay, they're really called ta'ams. Okay, so all of this language that they're doing when they say they're trying to collide this and collide that, they are killing themselves. Can't you see it? Just really take a look around. Okay, they are drawing everything back. What is happening to them, or what's happening to you, or what you feel they are doing to you, is happening to them by themselves because they created the energy. Okay, they no longer operate both sides, but they set it up that God would win. But their God was the devil and still is. But the devil can no longer play Ra because Ra is here. And it's up to us to take the power of Ra. This is why everybody's all jabbed up. There's inhibitors and everything, foods, every water polluted. So nothing could respond to Ra. Okay, this is facts, people. Okay, because just like the movies, yeah, we're supposed to be getting a lot of energy right now. Okay, and a lot of us, you got to recognize and realize that if you are not exercising your sound mind, your senses are not going to be able to communicate and facilitate the elevation, the transmission, the uploads. Okay, because they're being inhibited by your very language base that operates everything on a molecular structure. That's absolutely right. Okay, we're not talking about innate behaviors here. Okay, we're talking about forced errors based on our communication system. Three-Eye Atlas, another big one. I already broke that code. I made 3-4 videos on it. Okay, it's called El Tesla, or sorry, El Zeta. It means the element of thought is say. Okay, so I keep telling you what's coming, what they are conjuring up to come is the element of thought, which is voice. And so since they are dead, we are going to be given that voice. They plan to be using us to benefit from that energy. Okay, but they can't and they shall not because you all need to join me. Okay, and be the sound movement. Yes, I would like 144,000, and I would be looking to sit, okay, with these popes and priests and presidents and all this shit, okay, on behalf of the souls, so we can part way and we can be our stewards that we are, okay. It's already been, all these things are already happening. This is a process. Okay, they would tell you themselves, go to any lodge. They will tell you when Christ comes, there's just going to be a separation of ways. I promise you. Go ask any one of them. Okay? All this war bullshit is to distract you from your opportunity of payout. Okay? Not only by the ether, by them. Okay, because they are dying to settle. Okay, they're dying to, but they have nobody to put in the place of Ra and have any more false treaties. So you guys got to get behind Christ or a chaplain Tata in Ra. The codes are reversed. They're working against themselves. They are 111. If you can see, they're putting that more out there because they have to. That's their only chance. AI, they don't even, I told you, they don't even have the 0 anymore because I stripped them of that. Even though everything is their codes, they only get the 1. And I told you, this is their true symbol. Okay, their true symbol is the equal sign because what they did was they took the pillar, okay, which they are the wheat and the chaff, right? And so, in order to be equal to Ra, right, they can't. So they want to have to bring Ra down to them. So they lay Ra parallel, which is flat. This is why you guys all argue whether it's flat or globe and shit. It has nothing to do with the shape. It's all about the energy. Is the Earth sound, or is the Earth void of sound? Okay, does a tire have air, or is a tire void of air? That's how you fuckers should be looking at this shit. Okay, not going on like robots because you really have no intelligence, but you can argue and fight. That's all you can do. That's what you were designed to do. This is why you have to take advantage of what I'm telling you by getting into the process of sound logic, the omenology, solarization. I'm offering you what these church promised but could never deliver. Okay, and that's an opportunity to be eligible for everlasting life. Okay, and that means obtaining your soul program through decoding your name, through the Ibaka to Omen, through getting off of that Gregorian timeline, raising Ra's time, like everything, the books, everything I got, okay, changes your corruption and helps have another voice to move earth erect, upright. Okay, this is all we got, people. Okay, there's nothing else. There's no white hats. There's no fucking Anunnaki. It's just us. Okay, and our ability to interact with sound logic. Okay, that's just what it is. Okay, Three-Eye Atlas is El Zeta. Just like they told you Zeta N. Right? But it's really Zeta On. Okay, again, they want to tweak things so they could mask. A mask, it means it has to look alike. So a sound mask means it has to sound alike. Okay, the spelling is going to be off because that is this code. That's how they put the ciphers to the sound, is because you have to now spell it. You're taking away from the sound and you're putting emphasis on the assembly of symbols, not the assembly of sounds. Okay, but this is why Christ and Christianity and all that talk now is being banned, because they've been masking what is here now. Okay, and they've been calling what is here now the very same devils that you fear. Just think about this for a moment. If you are a parasite, virus, okay, a plague, okay, you'd have to burn that body to get rid of any of the disease, right? If you are a soul and you are stemmed from Ra, so you're coming from what you want to call that fire, right? So why would you be afraid, if you're a soul, to go back to your source, unless you are a parasite or sold to be a parasite that has to be filed to the ore. That is filter. Okay, that is filter. So you get filter. When you separate from your flesh, your essence gets filtered, just like a disk gets virus checked before it gets admitted into the hard drive, right? Or the software. It's the same shit. If anything can go back to the ether, well, then ether would be corrupted. Ether can't be corrupted. Okay, components of it can act corrupt, but the ore itself, like it is what it is. It's impenetrable. Okay, you can't harm what you can't see, and see means sever. Okay, just like CERN. That's what they're trying to do. That's all they're trying to do is see, but they can't go anywhere. They're destroying themselves. They're not making any contact with nothing. Okay, I'm not saying they're not getting recognized and all this shit, but that's all BS. It truly is BS. Right? You guys got to pick something. You can't be flat earthers but believe all of a sudden, like something's going to come through your so-called dome, which I already broke that down. It means disconnected from Om. That's what a dome is. So you're being disconnected from the origin of motion, which once again is sound. So is the word sound, or is it lacking sound and flat like a drink that you leave on a table and it's out of its carbon? Are you convinced yet? Are you convinced yet, people? The universe, okay, that's a unit of soul, vessel, Ra, say. Okay, a unit. You are a unit of sound. Okay, even though the word unit means you have no head, that is what it is. The universe is you, okay? Not because someone told you some la-di-da, it's you because of the code. The code says universe. So that means you're a unit of, you have a song. And for all you musicians, you should get this. Okay, you have a song, and in that song is a verse, and you have lots of verses. Okay, so a verse is a unit in a song. Okay, and a song is a sound. It's a compilation of sounds. This is true mathematics. This is why it's Mathorian Kagadora, because we move sound. Okay, math is not for dead symbols, like I told you. You guys are not even going to be calculating anything. Nothing. You guys' lives are all over. Nothing you'll be able to do. Not because AI is taken away. That's just the front. Okay, the gig is up. The gig is up. That's what it is. We're going to be living free of fucking parasites soon. Okay? You understand this? You understand this? And you're not going to be a part of it. You're going to be on the wrong side if you can't bring yourself to connect to me. Okay? I'm doing a lot of work here, people. Work that nobody can do before me. Name one of these guys out here on the internet. Doesn't matter if they're rappers with shades and hoodies. Doesn't matter if they're Arabs with hoodies. Doesn't matter what lodges they belong to. None of them could. Doesn't matter if they're in jail. Doesn't matter if they could speak 20 different tongues and languages. I'm the one with the one sound that's on motion that goes across the board. Nobody's disputing this. Nobody can. Okay, it's not possible because I am sound. Okay? It is fault proof. Fell proof. Okay, because of sound, I go only by motion. Okay, each of these symbols are tied to motions. Just like in court, you serve a motion. That's your desire, your will, what you want the judge Just transfer all that, put the entity, ether as the judge, which is the aura which we are all in, that you call space, and then you be the conductor. Okay? The only difference is you have to wield sounds, not words, not symbols. Trying to figure out Satan's world, trying to make it in Satan's world is fruitless. Okay? You're going to be bound to that. This is done now. Okay? It's done. Okay? All these 15-minute cities are all concentration camps. Okay? I keep telling you guys. You guys could want what they want, or you could want what I want. So if you like how I'm talking, you got to support it. You got to give it energy, just like everything else. Okay, so I'm lucky to get 50 minutes out of this. I think it was worth it. Definitely all going to be watching this through my YouTube and or my website. Okay? But we can't be concerned about CERN. All this language, all of these devils, they worship me now. You understand that? I am their devil. I'm the guy that they told you is coming, but they can't claim because all of their shit belongs to Ra. So it doesn't matter if there's a hall, or it doesn't matter anybody anywhere. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's galactics. If you really all believe that shit, then I hope it's true, because they're all going to have to deal with me. Okay, and I'm not talking physically fight and want to remove me. It is what it is. I'm the conductor. Okay, I'm wheeling the sound. Okay, this is law. Okay, it doesn't matter how it looks. It doesn't matter how anybody might not like it, and they might want to remove me, whatever the fuck it is. Okay, the reality is what you see. Okay, and I'm not talking. Okay, I'm doing. Go get my Kagadora. Okay, I didn't come to change time. That was the devil. I came to correct. Okay, what do you think? What is that? Doesn't that look like something with two ears and a dog? Right? They're copying. They're copying. They give you Anubis. Okay. So don't worry about shit. Just focus on what I'm trying to do. Okay, that's what you guys should all be hoping for. Okay, that's what y'all should be putting your attention to. Okay, you want to believe all this senseless stuff. Okay, we can't be doing this stuff. Okay, we gotta just focus on finding sound, not truth. Okay, I already broke that video earlier. I dropped it in that video. I'll tell you once again here, and I think I may even already told you in this video. Truth, okay, is ta, ra. Here, I'll write it down. This will be the last thing. We'll end on truth, decoding the word truth. So T is for thinking, R is for Ra, okay? And when you have Uth, that means burnt ether, okay? It's ooh, like urn. Ashes go in an urn, okay? The is the or, okay? And so truth is burnt ore. So God wants, the devil wants, like, the precious, right? So truth is when there's no more sound left. There's no more precious. There's whatever it is that you're looking for is gone from where you found it. Okay, the shell is empty. So an empty shell is truth. So when you go on the beach and you find a conch, or you find the empty shell, or you go into a car, okay, and you find an empty car with no driver, that's the truth. Okay, you got to see the flip, people. Okay, you know how when you bite into gold, and if you bite right through it and you break it and it's pure all the way through. Okay, so what do you call that? You think you call that truth? No. Okay, you call that sound. Okay, it's intact. You understand this, people? Okay, this is what's saving you. I'm the savior. Okay, I'm the one who's saving your bullshit. Okay, it doesn't matter how it fucking looks or I don't look. Okay, you gotta take it for what it is. Okay, this is the shit. Aminology, Ta'angodu, Hedichi, sound logic. Okay, CERN has nothing on us, nothing on me, nothing on anything. Can't do shit. Whatever it's doing, if anything, I think it's, producing energy. That's what I think. Okay, if it's oscillating, at best it's producing some form of energy. Maybe it's, something that's broadcasting energy, at best. Okay, I know it's not doing anything to any melanated atoms. Okay, any atoms that are protected by melanin, which is everything. That's why the whole fucking shit is black, people. Okay, we're living in melanin. We're living in thought. We're living in the material that transports thought. Okay, I broke this down. Okay, none of these boys and girls on the internet have anything. I don't give a shit how they fancy they sound. They're all talking bullshit. Okay, because they're talking coded language that actually doesn't mean what they can't mean what they say. It's not intended to mean what they say. Okay, you all gotta just fucking stand up. Okay, just stand up and face me and get the shit, and whatever you're doing, apply sound logic to it, and I'll help you. Okay, I got lots of books. Like I write this down like a baby can pick it up. It's so simple because I actually write children's books. Okay, I have Go to Amin Ra. If you have children with autism, go buy my books. Okay, I've been working with brains for 24 years. Okay, and prior to that, my own brain, trying to figure my own shit out. Okay? So don't worry about any collider. You got to be concerned about not colliding with sound logic. Okay? You got to be concerned about not colliding with the Mathorian Kagadora. You got to be concerned with not colliding, with any of my books or Jesus.com. That's what you got to be worried about. You got to be worried about not colliding with the Ibaka to Om and reversing all your codes and corruption and deprogram and deconstructing. That's what you need to be fucking in most fear about. Okay? You guys are all being soothed. You're all a little too calm. You all think that when the shit happens, you're going to go down. You all inside say, you know what, you're not good enough. You all think everything that you're connected to, all that horrible deeds that you've done to us Nubians and souls, I'm telling you, I'm the man, and I'm telling you, I don't give a shit if you're Vladimir. Okay, get rid of your demons, go through my programs, and you're good. To me. Okay, because I get it. It's not the shell, it's the energy. Okay, it's the fucking program that's being erased. If you're attached to it, well, you're being erased with it. Okay? You got it? So the choice is yours. You're here now. You can give the finger, say thank you, but fuck you. Okay? Ra's here, and I want to be a soul. Okay? And Christ Ore Chaplain Tata Amun Ra has that pathway. Okay? I even shouldn't be using that word path. Has the math to get us there. Okay? Path is parasite. Parasite the ore. Math is ma the ore. Mathor. Right? So pathway is the parasite's way of shit. Right? And you guys want to be worshiping Yahweh's and being on the path to heaven and hell. Like, come on, people. What's that guy? Wake the fuck up. All right, this is good. 60 minutes to Anka-U. I hope you thank me. Okay, so I want hundreds and thousands, okay? Thousands and thousands and thousands of people now coming to where they know the answer is, okay? And taking my sounds, okay? And replacing your dead symbols. To Anka-U for watching or for receiving. Remember that the red sun in the sky is the physical Christ. That's Ka, Ra, I, Se, Ta. Christ. The Ka of Ra, that is the soul man, speaks for Ta. Okay? El Se Ta. That's what's coming. Not Three-Eye Atlas. Three-Eye Atlas is Ayahuasca. You got three eyes is One, one, one. Not three soul man. Okay? Let's break one thing down before I go. The Trinity. Okay? Since 3i Atlas, they're talking about the Trinity. You know what the Trinity is, people? Number one, we have thought. Okay? This is Ba'am. Okay? Number two, we have Ra. This is the radiator. Okay? This is the source. This is the broadcaster. Number three, we have man, soul man. That's the fucking Trinity. That's their fucking Trinity. Ta, Ra, Ba. Okay? That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. You have the source of sound, which is Om, the origin of motion, which is Ba-Om. You have its voice, its broadcaster, okay? The conductor, what speaks to the Ba. Remember, just think about you being all that is. There's nothing outside of you, and everything that you can think of is inside of your body. That's exactly how you need to see it, and you're just a little tiny cell in all of that craziness. Okay? And so it's like the brain that speaks to the nervous system, which is the man. Okay, and right now we've lost our nerves, which is our senses. So we are numb because we've been working with numbers. Because numbers numb the ba-ors. Okay, and we are ba-ors because we are spirited or from the or that is Ba'am and Ora. Ta-ta.